Good evening and welcome. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host, and I welcome you to How to Fight CPS and Keep Your Children. It's an awful thing that I have to say that we have to fight somebody, but you'll find out that CPS is a really bad organization, worse than the IRS. CPS, the Child Protection System, is supposed to protect your children from neglect and abuse and to do family reunification. Apparently, CPS doesn't care about family reunification, and every case is the child's in imminent danger. Mine weren't, but they were taken, and I did not know a lot of things. And I have 4 rules that I can share with you that will help you. Yes, I am a family man, a father of 6, been married 32 years. I love my family. I also love you guys. I want to help you guys. You guys are really in a very stressful situation, and it's wrong. It's really wrong. So I want you guys to take a deep breath. You're at the right place. I'm not a lawyer, but I have a lot of advice I can give you. The stuff that I tell you, you need to really listen because CPS is not your friend. CPS is probably the worst agency you ever worked from. They're very corrupt. They're not transparent. And I can tell you what CPS really are. But first, let me tell you how they interact with this podcast. There are 3 ways you can interact with this podcast. The first way is my phone number is posted. So that means you can talk to me live on my phone and my business number. My business number is 626 698 0990. And ring me. And I can really only answer it at the time of my shows. Now, I'm just trying right now. There's 2 people or 3 people that I send a notification because sometimes they don't get the notifications. Wow, we already got someone in the room. That's great. We have the oh, I remember you, the Chinese stuff there. And let me see. It's called the Vietnamese Chinese Flair. And he's been on before. I forgot what city and state, and he has another name. What do you think about the Chevron case being overturned by the Supreme Court? The Chevron case. You got to tell me more about the Chevron case. I somehow missed that case. Is that a CPS case? Is that a CPS case? You need to tell me on that. Right now, I'm texting the people that should be joining us. Everybody's welcome. I just want to give, these are the regular people that sometimes call all the time here. There's some other people that called in their after hours. I'm sorry that I can't answer them. Okay, we've got one more person here. Actually, okay, I've told some people that had called and I didn't answer. My hours for answering the phone are my show hours. I'm on at 10 o'clock every day except Sunday in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, and I'm on o'clock at 7 o'clock at night Pacific Standard Time, on for 1 hour. And those times I will answer the calls and so forth. Um, we have Tobias Johnson. You've been on before. I think it was earlier this morning. They say basically they can not make up their own rules. They must follow law. If you can explain a little bit, Tobias um, was on before. The Gutanese Chinese floor, yes, it's a CPS case where they took the kids without proper investigation. I'll have to look that up. I did not hear about that. If you'd like to talk about it, you can call in at my number at 626-698-0990. Now, another way that you can communicate with this podcast is you can text messages like these people are. Let me get to that. So when you're texting comments, make sure they're CPS questions. We need to talk about CPS. I know there's a lot of topics we could talk about, but CPS is the one that you want to talk about. Please show me your name and city and state or country and be complete with your CPS case. It's hard for me to play ping pong ball on here. You know, you tell me a few things and I ask you what, then you tell me a few things more. So the ball goes back and forth, back and forth. So start at the beginning, what the allegations are, who is involved, how many children, how many spouses, what, where you at today with your case. And that will really help me because I do like your comments. I do try to help you and so forth. Now, this evening, I've had two people text in. One is Tobas, who's been before as a name, but I forgot what city and state. And then Gutanese Chinese Flair, I forgot your city and state too. And you were talking about a Supreme Court about the Chevron case, and I should know about it, but I don't. And then Tobas is asking, can they make their own rules they must follow? Yeah, they don't make rules, but they will. You see, the hardest thing for people to realize is what kind of individuals you're dealing with. CPS are a group of social workers that use deception and lie. For instance, there's a group of social workers in Prescott, Arizona. Prescott, Arizona has the acronym Department of Children's Services, DCS. When I say CPS system, I mean all the acronyms, all the places. But what they did in Prescott will tell you the kind of attitude the social workers are. They got pink t-shirts, and 8 ladies had stenciled on the front of the t-shirt, "We are professional kidnappers." And on the back, they put, "Do you know where your children are?" And then they paraded with these messages through Target and Walmart and other stores until they were caught. And of course, they were terminated, as well as the director of Prescott, leaving with only one social worker left, which was a guy, and it's not helping protecting the children through abuse or neglect. So I'm telling you, that's the mentality of these social workers. You can't trust them. They will not. They will violate your constitutional rights. They will violate your civil rights. Now, Rosemary, you've been on before. Good evening to you, Rosemary. Again, I forget your city and state, so I wish you guys would tell me where you guys are. She said the judge said it is the best interest of the child to return to the parent. I agree with you. Studies have shown the best parents are the biological parents, the mom and dad, not foster care parents, not relatives or next of kin. The best parents are the biological parents. And maybe they had a hiccup, but it can be corrected. They can come back to be with their families through family reunification. And Gutanese Chinese Flair, um, is in the city of Marshall, located 200 children, 49 of them are from Arizona. So I think you're in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. And there are 200 children that were located and 49 from Arizona. So I don't know. You say you're in the U.S., Marshall. It's really confusing. All I need is the city and the state. And hi, got your text. Good, Natalie. I want to make sure you're notified. Natalie is from West Hollywood. I remember her because she's on every day of my show. And she's from West Hollywood. And welcome, Natalie. The Gutneys has been on a previous time. Rosemarie's been on a previous time. And Tobas has been previous time. But I don't know where all you're from. And I hate to have to keep guessing. But if you guys could share me your city, state, that'd be great. Rosemarie said they took my case without a warrant from their school and one from the hospital. It's been a terrible nightmare. I know it is, Rosemarie. First of all, unless they have a warrant, they're not supposed to take your child. And you have a card you filled out at the beginning of the school year that tells who can pick up your child, who can take your child. That social worker's name is not on there. The police name's not on there. And that's wrong what the school does. That's a lawsuit right there against the school. Okay, you're from San Bernardino County, 29 Palm. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chinese Flair. He's from San Bernardino County, California, the 29 Palms area. And he's talking about 200 children, and 29 of them are from Arizona. And I don't know what the story on these children, I forgot, but I think they were stolen and then they're recently recovered. But anyway, I do have countries that will text messages in here. I've had Australia, I've had Canada, and Mexico. And then from Europe, I've had United Kingdom, Sweden, and Denmark. And then from Africa, I've had Mozambique, Rwanda. Mozambique is on the east side of Africa, down towards South Africa, across from Madagascar. Rwanda is the middle of East Africa, near a big lake. Then there's Liberia, who's on the west side of Northern Africa. So I've had those countries from there. I've had one country from South America, Ghana, which is a small country above Brazil and east of Venezuela. I think I pretty much have covered so far the people that have called in from the countries. Now, Rosemary says, I didn't know they couldn't come into my hospital room without my daughter. They came with the police. Yes. Social workers have a bad habit of parading around with police for intimidation. They cannot enter your home. They cannot make you talk to them. And they cannot take your children, either the police or the social workers. They have to have a warrant or the children in imminent danger. Now, imminent danger means if there's a shooting taking place, domestic violence is taking place, a child is being strangled, a child is being thrown against the wall, some type of imminent danger that can come in. The only other way is, well, there's two other ways. If you give them permission, they'll come in, which you don't want to do that. Or they have a warrant, and the warrant has got to be a real warrant. It can't be a copy of another warrant and pasted together. It looks fakey. It's got to have a wet signature of the judge. It's got to have an embossed seal that you fill the paper that's raised up. And it must be explicit. It must give the date and time and who is being accused and what the allegations are and the address of where they reside at and what they are going to do. Going to remove the children. going to talk to you, do a house inspection. It's all going to be legal. It's got to be a legal paper. It's all legal. They're illegal when they do that. They violate your civil rights and constitutional rights. Okay, so you're originally from Ghana in South America. They took 3 of my niece's kids out there also. Well, that's great. Now I've met the second person from Ghana, and um, I'm glad that you're here. But you're in San Bernardino now. So he was originally from Ghana, South America. There's another gentleman from Ghana that called in about CPS. Ghana is near the coast, and it's a small country, very fragile country. So that's texting comments. So I told you my phone number. I told you texting. A third way that you interact with this podcast is you can be a guest on my show. You can be a guest on my show. To schedule a time to be on my show, all you need to do is pick one of my 14 shows: Monday evening, Wednesday morning, Saturday evening, Sunday morning. One of those 14 show times. And you want to contact our show producer, Grace, who works behind the scenes and helps me produce my podcast. I'm very thankful to her for that. You email her at vincentwdavis.com. That is Grace at vincentwdavis.com. Put her name, Grace at vincentwdavis.com. And in your email, tell them you want to be on Bob's show. And you can give the time and the day. It's real easy. She will help you. I'm broadcasting on YouTube, and I'm using the StreamYard application. You found me on Facebook. So she'll get you on StreamYard. She'll give you the link, and then she'll tell you what to expect when you're on my show as my guest. You'll be live, just like I am talking, and you can talk about your case or help other people with their cases. But I'd love to have you as my guest. All you have to do is email Grace at vincentwdavis.com. Now, I'm going to go back to my phone number, and I put that back up, and I'm also going to look at some new messages. Faye, hey, Faye is from here, from Richmond, Kentucky. I'm glad you're here, Faye. Missed you this morning. And hey, we got another international guy. We got Archie. Archie's from Liberia, and he's on again. Good morning, Bob. It has been a while. I have just joined you from Liberia. Thanks for the show always. We'll definitely create a safe and conducive environment for our children. That's sweet, Archie. And Archie, I'm so glad to have you from Liberia. Liberia is an African country, North Africa. It's in the north part of Africa on the west coast. And Archie drops in from time to time. And Faye gives a warm welcome to Archie. And also warm welcomes to Tobias. And a warm Natalie is saying good. All right, I'm reading these texts because I'm afraid that you all don't see them, and that's why I do read them. The Guineas Chinese Flair, who's from San Bernardino, California, who used to live in Ghana, he says, "Hi, Bob. I really do want to make a change. This is not right. What's going on? I agree with you. These people don't care nothing about no one else, and I agree with you there, but themselves. Most of all, the kids here are the ones that are suffering. I agree with you." Natalie says, "Welcome, Faye." Natalie also says, "Hello, Archie." And Faye says, "Hello to you too, Natalie." It's a good group of people we have in this room. Yes, we need to make changes, but it's sad to say. I told you about the pink ladies that say they're professional child kidnappers. And on the back of the t shirts, they put, "Do you know where your children are?" Can you imagine the reaction of parents walking in Walmart or Target seeing that? It's sad, but that is your typical social worker. I have another social worker that did something bad about a month ago. They went on their website, they are a social worker, and they posted an ad from 1848. The ad said, "Black children for sale." Now, the social worker was black herself, and I cannot understand why in the year 2024 that someone has to write or post an ad of something in 1848 that said "Black children for sale." What is that going to gain? I mean, that was a black person putting that on. I have no idea what he did. Someone can explain it to me. But that's your typical social worker. They're bad. They are corrupt. They will hurt you. They'll do revenges. I cannot tell you how bad I've been hurt by the social workers. I've had one social worker call in for 40 minutes, talk very professional, was very honest about how they did things in Maryland on CPS. She was college trained with a clinical psychology degree. And she was further trained for 6 months at the state of Maryland. Now, I have talked to other people from Maryland, and they didn't say anything positive about the CPS in Maryland, but maybe in her particular area, it's great. I'd love to hear from more of the social workers that are listening like that to tell me how your CPS cases are handled. Because all I see is you trafficking the children into foster care, which is wrong. Trafficking is illegal. Also, alienating the children from the parents, that is illegal. Those are two illegal measures you're doing, they're wrong. And I'm sorry to tell you that to CPS because we do need the CPS organization, but we need honest social workers. We need social workers that think about the families first, not about their monetary gain that they're getting from this. You see, the answer to why these social workers are the way they are, the whole child protection system is making about $80 billion a year. And I said B, not M, not million, billion, $80 billion a year. I know this firsthand because when my children were in the CPS system in the Orange County of California, their right away were taken from their schools. Were they really in imminent danger at the schools? No. But they were taken from the schools and put into a shelter next to the county courthouse, next door to the prison of juvenile prisoners. Prison is there, and their play yard was open to the juveniles' play yard. And you can think about how safe it is for your children exposed to the juveniles who are serving time for things they did wrong. Not only were they exposed to the juveniles, they're exposed to beehives. And these beehives were many of them, and it would injure the children. That's protecting my children. The food was awful. It was crowded. It was dirty. And the idea of teaching school was to read the book. Now, my kids are in STEM. That means they're taking a science class, a technology class, an engineering class, and a math class, plus other classes every semester. STEM. Reading a book is not going to help them at all. Reading a book is not going to help them all. They were battered in foster care. They were injured in foster care. And the caseworker was so bad that she took revenge on my family. She told us parents, "You're never going to see your daughter again." And she told her 12-year-old, "I want you to divorce your parents. I want you to change your name. I want you to seal your birth certificate. And I want you to be adopted in foster care." She didn't know what to think, and she did it. And that was sad because not only did she divorce her parents, she divorced her brothers, her aunts and uncles, her grandparents. I mean, it's a full sweep, and apparently the social worker wanted to do revenge, and that's wrong. I have a lot to sue that social worker, and I could, but I'm afraid it takes money to do a lawsuit. It takes money to do a lawsuit, and I spent all my money getting an attorney to help with my case. To help with my case, and I'm sorry. I really am sorry. It's a very terrible mess to lose your daughter. She's going to be 22 years old tomorrow on July 9th is her birthday. I am so tragically hurt. Today I cried for her. I really was hurt. I've not seen her since she's 12. My wife has not seen her since she's 12. My son still sees her on visits, but I do not see her. And it's a sad, sad state that CPS can get away with ruining your family. They financially broke me. I had lost my job through no fault of my own. But when I had to get money to hire an attorney, I sold my house. And I lost my house I worked for 40 years for. It's gone. Not only that, my credit's shot up by them. I've lost a job. I've had my credit ruined. And I lost a child. I had 6 children. But the Child Protection Services took one of my 6. Beautiful daughter. Beautiful, beautiful daughter. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate that. Xenophobia social workers that advocate and advertise as so black people. I guess so. She was a black. The pink ladies. I don't know what they thought about the shirts. You guys can look it up on the internet. 2022, Prescott, Arizona. The pink ladies. The t-shirts that they're famous for. The Guyanese Chinese flair from San Bernardino, California says, believe it or not, they're using these workers to do the dirty work. I heard about it all the time. I see it for myself. I witness it. They had a worker investigate my case, a regular social worker. I'm so sorry. The Chinese flair from San Bernardino. I really am. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I'm here to help you. So you either can continue to text and comments. I'll try to help you. Or you can call in at 626-698-0990. Or if you want to be a guest on my podcast, you can write Grace at vincentwdavis.com and ask to be on one of my shows. But I want to thank everybody in this room because all of you have kind hearts and you care about your children. You would not waste your time if things were right. So I feel for you and I want to hear to help you. So feel freely to ask questions, feel freely to call in, and feel freely to be a guest on my podcast. So I've talked about how they interact with this podcast. I've talked about what the social workers are. But when you're in their hands, you're like Alice in Wonderland that fall in a rabbit hole and you're going from room to room and you don't know what to say. They say off with your head. They don't make any sense. That's how bad they are. They are not accountable to anybody. No one accountable to the social workers. And they're strictly to make money off you children. I'm trying to hang in there. I sort of missed some meals here, and so I am kind of weak, but I'm hanging in there. Rosemary says, my case didn't start getting better until I hired an attorney. The social worker will no longer come up to me and talk to me before court. Of course not. You got an attorney. And you're smart, Rosemary. And that's my rule number one. You need to get an attorney. And I don't mean a court appointed attorney or attorney that, is no good. The type of attorney you need is called a family dependency attorney. A family dependency attorney. And fortunate in this podcast, I have one that produces this podcast. His name is Vincent W. Davis. He has 35 years experience of fighting CPS and getting kids back. He's a trial attorney. He'll go Northern California, Southern California, all over the 50 states. He is in LA County. And he's a remarkable man. He has his own podcast, and he'll try to help any way he can. Right now, you can actually have a consultation with him for 30 minutes for $60. That's it. And he'll talk to you about the do's and don'ts of how to deal with CPS and having your children take it. He'll talk to you, make you feel so much better. And if you like him, you may retain him. I know money is hard to come by. I sold my house after 40 years. I wanted my family back. And I fought them. For 5 years, I fought them without taking my kids. Then in 2015, they took my 3 kids. All bogus. I didn't know better. And they used trickery to have me come to the house to let them in. They had all these people lined up with them. They not only did the police, detective, and the 3 social workers, but they had other people there. Some policemen in uniform, 2 policemen, 5 firemen, 2 code enforcement people, and of course the 3 social workers. All at my house. And you would think I had a drug thing going or something like that. Good evening, and who am I talking to?
This is Anthony, sir.
Yeah, hi, Anthony. I think you're the guy that's been on before, the Vietnamese Chinese flair.
Yeah.
Right, welcome, yes, Anthony. I'm sorry I forget your name. I apologize, but I'm so glad you're here.
No, it's okay. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I need some food in me. So.
Yeah, I just made dinner, man. You should have come over.
Yeah, I would have loved to, but my finances are absentee right now, and so hopefully they'll come in soon enough for me to have food.
Yeah.
But Anthony,
go. Yes, sir.
Oh, you asked me how my 4th of July was. Yes, I did a podcast on 4th of July. It was quiet, and I've done a podcast twice a day, so it's like every day is a typical day for me. But it's great people like yourself that share your stories. And you were talking to me about, let me see, I think it was a case, a Chevron case. Was that you?
The Chevron case, yeah.
Yeah, could you talk about the Chevron case to my listeners?
Yeah, so from what I was reading, Supreme Court reversed that case 6-3. It was based on now everything has to go to the judge, which we already know a lot of the judges are crooked, but now they have to call it right down the middle, if I'm not mistaken. So they have to come with proper investigation, because when it boils down to it, that's what it all comes down to. We don't get a fair investigation. And then when we go to trial, there's not a fair trial. I just had a trial, and it was like just you're being tried by the devil, and his demons is surrounding you, including the lawyers. So
yeah.
It's very hard to get a fair trial.
But what was the Chevron case? What was the Chevron? What was it? Abuse or neglect of a child they were talking about?
Yes, yes, but they didn't do an investigation. They just took the children.
So when it says 6-3, was that mean the
So
case went inside of the parents or go inside of CPS?
it goes sides of the parents.
So
But
the
now they
parents won
can't
that
just
case
come.
6-3 then.
Yes, yes. So the parents won that because now they have to come out and do a proper investigation before removing your children. Because a lot of times they remove our children without a warrant. Sometimes a fake. In my case, it was a fake warrant, and so they kidnapped my children, two of my children from school, and then served me a warrant 5 days later when I went to court to retrieve my two children, and it took the other three.
Well, I didn't know about that, and they took my 3 children that weren't in imminent danger. They're all in school.
Yes, yes, because if you're taking, it makes common sense, Mr. Bob. If you're taking somebody's children from school, I mean, the school is the one that put them in danger.
Exactly. They were taking it because now the typical MO of the CPS when there's a case of neglect or abuse is they'll take the children no matter if they're in imminent danger or not. They automatically take the child.
But I had a case before which they closed out, but come to find out they never closed their case out. So they went from that. But when in this new case, when you bring it up, because they're saying that the kid is in future risk, and I was like, future risk of what? The kids said there's nothing happened to them. There wasn't physically abused or sexually abused or none of that, but yet they took them. And the same worker, she testified that she took the kids and interviewed them. Now, when the lawyer is reading off the thing that when she said the kid said that they was in danger or something, the forensic interviewer never put that in the paper. The kids never said that. She said that the kid said that. So she lied on my children, and she was the emergency worker and also the investigator the same day. And she signed a fake warrant.
Wow.
And this judge is letting this, now we're supposed to have a court date today, and they postponed it because it's hard to say the judge is sick or something. 3 weeks. Now we have to wait till July 29th to do a progress hearing.
I'm so sorry. That sounds not fair.
Yes, and I know I always hear that life is not fair, but Mr. Davis, this is not even about me. And a lot of time, I know there's a lot of parents on here. It's not about us. It's about our children. Why are we fighting? If I'm keep telling you the same story and your story keeps switching up every time. Every time we talk, these workers, their stories switch up. The worker admit that they never came out to the home. And this judge is going with, and this lawyer is calling my kid a liar when the worker is the one that lied on my kid.
Wow.
So she purged herself on the stand, and you see, Mr. Davis, we know. You see, we've been in this situation since 2022. So we've been doing our research. The reason why they came back and took our kids is because we was getting ready to sue them, and they found out about it, and so there was a retaliation. And once we told that I know we have the deputy director, the manager, human services, every one of them, the CEO of CPS. We have it, and he know all the information because we've been emailing it to him. See, so they have all this information. Our case, we present affidavit of truth, and the judge never allow it. She let a lawyer that we fired represent me and both my wife when we have separate lawyers. So this judge been committing fraud upon the court over again.
Right.
So they think that they have got two black people that don't know what they're doing, that don't know their rights, and none of this, and we was just gonna walk all over them. No, you got it wrong.
I agree with you, Anthony. I agree with you there. Well, I mentioned a case of a black social worker in Chicago, Illinois, that on her Facebook page put an ad from 1848 that said black children for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why would a woman, a black woman, put that on her Facebook in the year 2024? What's the message there?
Because that's what they do. That's what they do, Mr. Davis. They use, especially these black people. You know what these people did? They put my kids with a crackhead that was abusing them. They use the black community, they use the black people, and we don't see it as a black community what they're doing.
Wow.
They've been doing this for a long time.
Well, yeah, I mean,
wake up and realize that this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're using our own people to sabotage us. And because we say, they go, brother, you are my brother. No, I'm not. Because you would not be working for this entity and dealing with my children if you was my brother.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear, my brother and all this. No, they're just trying to get their bonus every year, just like every one of them else.
Well, they get a bonus, by the way. They get a monthly bonus. They don't get it every year. They get a monthly bonus.
Monthly, exactly. So they don't care who.
No.
Black, blue, Chinese.
No. But they pick on black children, and they pick on Native American Indian children because the parents, don't have the resources, and they are taking unnecessary risks, and it's sad because that's not the way it should be. They are praying.
My case is real big, Mr. Bob. It's real big because if the police is involved, the DA is involved because I filed charges on the judge regarding the warrant because the warrant came back that is a search warrant for a criminal case. So that means my kid is under arrest. So I filed it. I'm going up to the what do you call it? The Sacramento offices.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm heading up. Yeah. So I'm not sitting because they robbed me. They robbed me of my baby. My baby was 6 months old when they took her. I just found out that the foster parents had my 1-year-old in the sun for 6 hours. She got sunburned, blister on her lips, and all these things. I have a baby, my breed, that's supposed to be wearing glasses, have no glasses. She came to the visit, hid her face and everything on the walls and all that. So they've been abused in these systems. All my kids been abused by the crackhead that they set him up with. We did research on that, so I have a private investigator working on my case right now. As far as investigating all of them.
Good.
Yeah. I told Mr. David, I am not leaving any stone unturned regarding these people.
You're right. You're right.
I have to deal with them. You're not going to get away with this. You did me wrong, and not just me, my children, most of all, didn't have to go through this. If they had came out to the home, they would have seen that there's no danger, whatever, but they wanted to steal my children. And they thought they was going to get away with it. And we said no, because what is the problem for them? Me and my wife been married for 21 years, and we are on the same team. So what they're used to, sometimes they go after the black woman. And I want especially our black women viewers, remember, do not give in or give up, because they're coming after you.
Right. And it's not only the white social workers, but there's black social workers that have gone really bad. Yes. They have like a vendetta. They have a vendetta.
Exactly. And they don't have no training. They don't have no Some
No
of them don't
college
have any
degree.
children.
They have no classes
No
in
college
social
degree,
work.
no nothing,
They
no
don't know anything about
social
social
skills.
work. And it's a very
Yes. How can you call
I
yourself? How
compare
can you call
I compare
yourself
dealing with social with the CPS system as doing with heart surgery. I tell people all the time
Yeah.
that the CPS system is like dealing with heart surgery. You need a professional attorney to go, just like a doctor. Would you do open heart surgery yourself? Would you get a layperson to do it? No, you're going to get a doctor. The same thing goes
Yes.
in the surgery. You need to get a professional attorney, and it's a family dependency attorney that you need to find, and someone that's a
And
fighter.
one more, and you know one more thing I want to for the parents that's listening on here, and
Okay.
and everyone else, you know, we need to stop being afraid, especially if you have the truth and the facts. It does matter. Do not let these people intimidate you.
I agree.
Because what they know, because every time me and my wife walk in that court, we can see the difference. They're afraid of us. And you will know when they're afraid of you, because every question they have, you have an answer for it. And every answer they have, you have a question for it. So do not be afraid of them. They're a bunch of bullies that think they can bully their way into getting for you to do what they want to do. We haven't done it. You know, we like, okay, why do you want us to do these classes and so forth if we're going to trial? Doesn't make any sense. I am not going to work for two sides of, you don't make up your law and then I have to go to the fake judge also. Because at the same time, they all come together. They're all
I agree. I agree.
You know, so we need to learn our laws and our rights and focus on what we are here for. Do not get into it with them. Do not answer no questions. Record everything if you have to. They cannot tell you to stop recording in your home or on the streets or so forth, public places. Record everything. That's how you get them. They cannot hide from the facts and the truth. And most of all, let's continue to pray and have faith. Faith over fear, please. You know, we will defeat these people. I am sure of it.
Well, all you listeners out there, I'm really thankful that you came in to listen to this room, because you guys do care about your children. The people that don't care about their children wouldn't waste their time. And there are bad parents out there, I'm afraid to say. Not all parents are good. But a lot of the parents have maybe had a hiccup or two. And that they can be, through parenting classes and programs, can get back and reunify with the family. The whole purpose of the CPS system is to keep the family together. If they break the family apart, then it's responsibility of the CPS to put the family back together.
Back together, yes.
Back together, because there could be domestic violence, there could be misunderstandings, there could be special need kids, there's all kinds of things. And it's a very complex situation that everybody's in. But you should have the kind of social workers that care or are sensitive to your needs.
Yes. And that's the thing too, Mr. Bob, because I my daughter, she have a friend that's being abused and so forth. Her parents is crack addict. But I think about it. Do I call these people to rule? This little girl is probably happier here than going in their custody. So those are the things that you have a problem with. It's a dilemma. Like, what do I do? Because this is what happened to us. We called for help and we got arrested.
Yeah.
So like now, do your kids come and tell you stuff? Who do this benefit? Who do all this benefit? When you take the kids, when they come and tell you something, and then the parents go and they try to get some help, and then here you come taking their children, or not even that, you come take their children without no proof of anything. and then you ruin them. Would they want? What if something really happened to them? Would they want to come and tell anybody? Because now they're afraid that the kids is going, the mom is going to say, you know what, this, they don't want to go through that, and that's what happened to my 15-year-old.
Right.
She is still here, and they have 4 of my other children.
Okay.
But she never left because
want to get them back.
The first time
right.
she take her medication and stuff, and they didn't have it for her, so she almost,
Now, Faye from Richmond, Kentucky says, when you do all the classes and programs, they still terminate your rights. You're right. They still, but if you're persistent and you keep at it, and it may take a couple years, and if you have an attorney working for you, you will get your kids back.
Yeah.
It's just that you got to be persistent at it. And as I say, make that rule number 2, make that notebook, that 6-inch notebook with 3 rings, and put all your information in there, all your certifications. In fact, one person here said they mailed the certifications to the judge of the programs and the parenting classes, and when the social worker came to the courtroom, the social worker said, this parent has done nothing. The judge looked at the social worker and says, please return to children and get out of here. Now, there are some good judges, but they're far and few.
Yeah, I agree with that. But let's say, no, it's not over until God says it's over.
Yeah, it's not over till the fat lady sings, I guess is what it says.
Yes,
but anyway.
Yes, sir. Because, at the end of the day, Mr. Bob, there's no one above the higher power.
No one above God. You got to have a lot of faith in God and pray. So I understand that.
Yes.
Well,
I know you're a proof of that. And why I listen to your show and I look up, because I'm like, you know what? There's many days I think about giving up, but I'm like, what? No, I can't do that. And
don't give up. And I'm glad you get something from the show that makes you want to still fight. I've had people come back and said, Bob, what you said, it worked. So think of my 4 rules. I mean, I talk about getting an attorney, a right attorney, and then your paperwork. And of course, the important rule 3, don't talk to social workers, don't let them in your home, don't let them take your children, and watch out the medical trafficking. And lastly, do the research on the internet. You learn everything.
I get a lot of stuff from people. Get on the internet, get and learn your case laws. Please learn your case laws. It does matter, because they can't come to you with the bullshit. Believe me. Every question they have, we have an answer for them. So I think that's why this judge called in today sick. She's not sick. She's just sick of seeing us. But we're not backing down.
Yep.
She has to make a decision. So please don't give up.
I agree. I agree.
And don't, one more thing, please don't try to take revenge. Give it to God.
They did. Social workers do revenge all the time. They do revenge. They hate to be looked bad.
Let them deal with that. Please don't worry about them. Just worry about they will always try to make things up and argue and lie. Like, once again, record every chance you have.
I agree.
Do your homework. Do your research. They will try to stall you from doing your classes and all that. Be persistent. Remember, you don't have anything to lose but your kids.
Yep, so I agree, Anthony.
Yeah. Persistent. If they don't have it one place, look somewhere else. If you have to travel, so be it. And that's what we've been doing. They move our visit two hours away.
Wow.
But we drive and we don't care, because when we show up, I love to see those smiles and those jumps and happy
Yeah.
faces on my children. That's what matters to me. You know, nothing else matters. So please, if you're doing this for your kids, fight. That's
Yes.
all we have right now. Fight.
And don't give up. You're right about that. You're right
You know.
about that.
So I take it from you, sir. You know, and that's
Right.
why I like to look up to the people that's been there before me. You know, I had lawyers that turn on me, private lawyers, and so
Yeah.
forth, because they don't want to go up against these people. But I am going up against them, not them.
Right.
You know, I make them do want them to do. And I
Well,
know I see the light at the end of the tunnel. So,
right.
you know, you will be seeing me probably in the media, in the news, or so forth. You know, so just look up, because I am gonna fight, sir. I'm gonna fight. You know, I feel so bad when I hear about your daughter. You know, I have 5 daughters. You know, so
Yeah,
it
I
really
know.
hits home. I came from a broken home,
Right.
so you know,
Well, I'm
no,
going to have
I
to end
know.
the show here, Anthony. I don't want to, but I have to end the show. It's 8 o'clock. I want to thank all of you for participating. Anthony, thank for your phone call. Thank you about all the information you share. Natalie and
Yes,
Anthony's
sir.
from San Bernardino, California. Natalie's from West Hollywood. Thank you about all your advice. Faye's from Richmond, Kentucky. Thank you too. And I really appreciate everything you say, Faye. That is really good on there. And then I want to thank the Rosemarie Lombardo. Thank you for your input and so forth. And did I leave anybody else? Archie, I can't forget Archie from Liberia. Thank you for listening and your support and so forth. And I think I've gotten everybody that came in tonight. Oh, Tobas Johnson, can't forget you. Thank you for your call in too. So God bless you all. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. This is Bob Pace signing off.